how the markets are changing and how you need to adjust and pivot what your offering is as a business in responsiveness to that. So I think design thinking is that process. The show today, you will see examples of social innovation. The journal's grown 700% in the last 7 years. So I can use design thinking as a strategy for the business development.
Why we should choose this career path?
What we're positioning is design as a future skill, design as a strategy that is fit for purpose for every business in every industry. I don't think they understand design as strategy or as a tool for business transformation.
So who would you like to work with?
Oh, I'm the brand, I would say.
$1 million question. How does the design industry change with AI?
So if imagination is one of the greatest tools in our toolkit, then you really need to know how to work with it. Design does teach people to make something out of nothing, and ultimately, that's the basis of innovation, isn't it? Come and chat to us. It may be that design and designers are not the people you think about that can help you with the business problem that you have. Heriot-Watt University as something that really does understand the relationship between creativity, business and entrepreneurship. Would you like to improve the quality of life of those around you? If it's yes, come join us.
This is Episode Up, your gateway to business, entrepreneurship, and innovation.
In today's world, a lot of businesses claiming that they are innovative and thinking outside the box. But I think only few understands really how to adopt design in their culture. We invited back to University of Heriot-Watt and we'll have a great conversation with Professor Louise. She's the head of Textile and Design School. We will have a chance to visit their degree show, speak with the students and understand how design thinking impacts their future and how the entrepreneurs in the future market can benefit from it. I hope this episode up will be a good roadmap how to adopt design thinking in your business DNA. I know it's a fancy word, but let's go together and learn. Professor Louise, I'm so happy to be here again. Thank you guys for invitation. Today's my mission is to understand design world, maybe myth bust design, and yet to find out from your perspective how design help businesses.
That would be terrific. I think the myth busting is really important to us because ultimately I think many people begin to understand design in terms of the end century. But now as we enter the second chapter of the 21st century, it's a very different landscape, and I think today we'll be able to actually just expose just what design looks like today, how people can recognise it in their everyday, and it's not what it always used to be.
Yeah, I will tell you straight away. For me, before our conversation, design is still kind of the logo, the banner, and maybe website design.
I think what we're positioning is design as a future skill, and it's a design as a strategy that is fit for purpose for every business in every industry.
Great, looking forward. I noticed already some really great quotes even about design and the business itself. It's on purpose.
It is on purpose. It's very much on purpose because ultimately we are responsible for educating individuals that's there, and we across our 5 programs at undergraduate and postgraduate, we each take responsibility for the courses and the programs. What unites us, and actually what unites us is actually just the principles of design and how it operates in the world today. So what you see in front of you here, design is a strategic tool for every business. These are our words as a teaching team. This is what we believe, and this is what we are approaching design education here at Heriot-Watt University. So design does teach people to make something out of nothing, and ultimately that's the basis of innovation, isn't it? We are visual thinkers. I mean, ultimately you use your visual thinking design, but what is that? And what are the qualities that are there that we are coming together to support as part of the skill set? Because our young designers need to understand not just what they're doing and how they're doing it, but why they're doing it, and then how they can apply that when they get into business.
Yeah, what they're doing and why they're doing. Really love it.
Yeah.
Love it, yeah. Should we have a walk?
Please, yeah. So this is one of our teaching spaces, and actually the glory of this space is it's very agile and nimble, and we can actually just adapt it for the different types of teaching and learning that happens within design educations. But when you're here learning about design, you are designing pretty much 100% of the time. So how do you begin to comprehend just what a week in the world of a professional designer looks like? And I think that's the glory of this space, just being able to adapt to the different types of businesses or entrepreneurs that come in.
You can kind of start visualizing and see physical result of the design.
You'll see here examples from communication design, fashion branding, promotion, and next door there is interior architecture and design, but all of them use prototyping. You have to physically create something from nothing. These are concepts, not just words, and so you've got to physically understand them, and we do that through making stuff.
Who's usually thinking about design education? I don't know, like, is it from the parent side, or is it like students or kids, they start realizing, oh, really I'm good in design, I'm really good with the colors, or it's also kind of good with project management or kind of entrepreneurship?
I'm not sure people would come into design knowing at the age they are that they've got an entrepreneurial capacity. I think some do, but not many. But it's definitely something that is nurtured through the design education process. I think when you look at the degree, we do quite intentionally look at just the creativity side of things, but it is about the business element, because actually design on its own can't exist. You really do have to understand just where it connects with the world and actually where its responsibility is and the value that it's giving to people in their everyday lives. If there's no value, there's no need, so why make it? The show today, you will see examples of social innovation, you will see connections to health and well-being, and I think those relationships are what's often missing when you think about traditional, say, product design, because it sits on its own, and I think that's the glory of what you see today as we walk through the degree show. But it is just our second year. We are showcasing 3 programs at the undergraduate level: interior architecture and design, communication design, and fashion branding and promotion. And there are just 23 students' work that are on show here. The reason for that, 2 of our programs, this is the very first time that they have reached level 4. So they're brand new programs, and I think they intimate just the direction of travel for emerging markets and actually the employment market of designers in the world today. So before, for example, you would have thought just of graphic design, that's there. We have purposely coined communication design because it's the relationship between all those different facets. You have user experience design, you have interaction design, you have graphic design, and today the professional designer must understand the relationship between all 3. This is all about just getting the students ready for employment and employability.
Okay. So what we're looking at right now?
Up until the March in this year, it has been focused on just getting the work done and making sure their work is going to qualify for the degree. But there's a step change because the work has not been assessed by teachers. It now has to be engaged with employers, and that's a different audience. And how do you begin to understand your work that actually it's relevant not just to one employer but to a whole industry? So it is about making sure that we can facilitate conversations with lots of different industries and not just what is traditionally perceived as the creative industries.
So who do you generally invite in this degree show?
And we have a really strong industry advisory board, around 50 companies. So we have an engagement and network that comes in, but we also reached out to others who we thought would be interested in the work that we're doing. So we put that together and we invited them to join us on Friday at the Private View. Part of it is actually just positioning the design education at Heriot-Watt University as something that really does understand the relationship between creativity, business and entrepreneurship that's there. It really does not matter which program you're going to, those qualities and attributes are there in all 3. And
it's free to attend. So basically if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you can step in this environment and see what actually young student created. Forward to put my investor's hat and actually go and check what you guys build here.
Hi, my name is Bianca. This is my final year project. It's called Sarah. So Sarah is a retail innovation system for in-store experiences. You know how when we shop, we take out tags to look for our sizes. Sometimes we pull down necklines just to see the size.
Size M, size S.
And and then we spend so much time looking through the racks just to find our size or like a specific item. So imagine Sarah is embedded on shelves and on racks. So in one area, in one section of a store, there'll be like one Sarah tablet there. So let's say I want to shop this skirt. So it will tell you how many stocks are there. So let's pick excess. So we know there's one left for excess, and it will tell you which hanger to get.
Okay.
So you see the rack over there? So hangers are labeled. So you see A41 was in between A32, A36. Now, because Sarah told us that it's A41, is that what we picked? Now we just have to get it. No need to look for tags.
We know this is my size. This is what I picked. I don't need to check it out anymore.
You don't need to check it.
Okay.
But that's just the tip of the features. So let's say you pick an out-of-stock item. So you have options. You can get notified if the store restocks it, or you can reserve it in other branches.
So from the branch or next time when it's back in stock?
Yes. But let's say I don't have time to go at other branches. So Sarah will suggest similar items that's available in that out-of-stock size. Sarah will tell you exactly from which section to go, what rack, and what hanger to get.
No, I see. It's like a path.
And it's also with Sarah Elite, you get recommended items to make a whole outfit.
Yeah.
You can easily view the composition and everything with the product details options, like similar items. You can compare product. You just scan the product tag, and it will read the RFID on the tag, and now you can compare.
In terms of material?
In terms of material, prices, the fit.
Okay. So if you're indecisive, you don't know which item to buy, yeah?
That's why there's the compare product option.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did you have great conversations, I don't know, with other industry leaders?
Yes, they are actually encouraging me to pitch it to some brands.
Which brand you would love to work with?
My case study was COS and Zara.
I wish you have a conversation with actual Zara,
yes. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rasha, and I've designed Footprints. It is basically an immersive exhibition that educates consumers about supply chain transparency in fashion. And now the idea, there are 3 interactive circles, and you can experience it in VR.
So give me the case. I'm coming in the shop.
No, it's basically a temporary exhibition.
Okay.
And it's a supply chain transparency initiative. So we have brand partners, and our aim is to educate consumers about supply chain transparency and set a standard in the industry.
Okay, so like an event.
Yes.
Nice.
So you can enter the exhibit.
So we're basically hopping.
Yes, you call it teleporting. So you're in the space right now.
Yes.
And as you can see, the walls they're moving, right? They're supposed to move along with you, representing the carbon footprints you leave behind. Thus the name Footprints for the exhibit. Now in the gaming circle, visitors can play a game called Chain Reaction, where they play the role of a supply chain manager, and they get points based on how ethical their supply chain decisions are.
So you actually designed all the environment?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I designed it on a software called Blender, 3D modeling software, and then I bought it into Unreal to experience it in VR. Now in this circle, visitors can virtually tour garment factories to learn more about the working conditions, the people, and the processes involved. Now this is where your garment will get scanned, and it will show on the world map the countries and the factories, show a summary which says the carbon data, the water usage, the kilometers it traveled, and the number of workers involved in making your garment.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, I can tell you from my experience, I'm working in the media, in events. A lot of brands would be interested in creating this environment and experience for their audience.
Yes. So I've also considered the brand partners that will be involved in this. We have, so like I said, this is not just an exhibition, it's also an initiative. And we have brand partners that I believe are leading the industry in transparency. And we also have brands that are improving transparency that will also be part of it.
And did you have any conversations so far?
Well, not with the brands directly, but from the visitors we've had, everyone is really interested in the fact that with tech and virtual reality.
Well, I hope this message will be passed on, and the right people from the brand can hear it, yeah?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
You've got to care about what you're doing. You've got to want to make a change and make a difference and be able to articulate what that is, and then to do your research and to learn how to ask some difficult questions, not just one or two, but in a sustained way. That's the design thinking. That's the questions that each student has to ask of their innovation and of themselves and of the marketplace and the business element all the way through.
So it's a wellness brand called Ethereal. It's a essential oil infused water-based skin fragrance. You shake well each time before you apply, and you just apply it on your skin. So spray it on your skin.
Okay.
It's targeting more for sensitive people who can't wear the alcohol-based perfumes, and you know how alcohol can be unsafe to be around the babies.
Okay.
So it's targeting the parents as well.
From my experience, my wife forbidden to use perfume in front of my baby daughter.
So it's a safe alternative. You're
Okay, so this
not
one we can use it.
excluding. Of course, you can. Please have a sniff.
Okay.
It's two different scents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smells
like
good.
that. Thank you. It's completely created by me. We use the chemistry lab to create the scents here in the university, and this is the bottle prototype for the fragrance.
Is it 3D printed, or you had the kind of exposure to that skill?
So we design the bottle, the product, and then we send it to the 3D printer.
So you still need to know.
Yeah, you need to know the software like
Exactly.
Blender.
And what, some chemical lab you said as well?
Chemistry lab, so we get the oils and we do the mixing. There's this thing called aromatherapy patch. As we all know, aromatherapy is used in the healthcare industry for individuals with mental illness like anxiety and depression to calm them. And that's usually stuck onto your skin, but this is completely different. It's stuck onto the baby's cloth. So it's designed for the babies. You can have a sniff.
What, to calm the baby?
Yeah, you can just have a sniff, yeah. So I have used lavender oil in this. So lavender oil, there are different oils, essential oils with different properties. So lavender oil is mainly known to put the baby to sleep. So there's no skin contact, nothing, completely safe for baby. So the entire concept is baby friendly, baby safe, no alcohol or synthetic in it.
I work in the stressful media industry. Can I keep it?
Yes.
I need to be calm. No, I'm joking. Thank you. So who would you like to work with?
Oh, I'm the brand, I would say.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
But I would like to work with different perfume brands for sure, because it's an alternate.
Collaboration.
It's collaboration again, because I would go for Jo Malone, I would say, because they're pretty good in their perfume industry.
I love the statement. Who would you like to work with? Well, I'm the brand. Yeah. That was really nice, yeah. Thank you.
What is striking with today's designers is that actually they really are thinking about how to facilitate behaviour change in the everyday. Because we know, let's take medicine for example, we have the technology and the science to cure diabetes, but what we can't do is connect it to human behaviour so that we can reduce it in that way. So how do we begin thinking about how to support individuals in their everyday to change behaviours? And I think that's a classic example of actually just the types of things that we don't think about but we're going to have to think about. So the tiny little things but made in a regular way and will have sustained impact. And you either innovate to transform or you have sort of incremental. You know, it depends what your purpose is, depends what the need is, and the students are really thinking about just what that need is in order to make the decisions as to the form and nature and scale of the innovation that they're looking to do. So yeah.
And well done for organizing such a degree show. Like I'm looking back in my student times, I'm like, I wish I would have something like this. I wish I would be exposed to conversations.
But I think that's a responsibility we take seriously, is that actually right up to the very last moment that the students are with us. And I think the last 2 weeks all the students would say, oh my word, the learning, because actually just the responsiveness that you need when you put an event on or you're really finalising and finessing the detail of design within any form that it comes in, is really demanding. I'm going to draw attention to these statements that come in, because we had statements downstairs, you know, that were the beginning of our conversation as a new team of teachers and leaders for design education. And again, we really worked hard to understand what is it that we're doing, what is it that design education in the modern world does. And I think that things that that are North Stars. I mean, we create borderless impact. So keep asking that question. What is the impact that we're making? Is it too contained? Are we being responsible with that question in the design work that we're doing? And we must be bold, in terms of just we believe anything is possible. So if imagination is one of the greatest tools and skills in our toolkit, then you really need to know how to work with it that comes in. So you have to practice on a daily basis because it can be quite fickle, the imagination. Sometimes it doesn't want to come out to play, and you really have to motivate yourself to get into a space to really push the thinking that a problem demands.
I love it that you said we always have this creativity or imagination tool in ourselves. We just need to work with it.
You do, and it's very personal. You've got to invest in it over a lifetime that's there, because through your work with your own imagination, you create better self-awareness, and through self-awareness you grow into yourself as a leader, and I think that's priceless. It's a skill that's really dear to our hearts here at Heriot-Watt. Some things you just can't touch. Some things are about just intuitively knowing and developing over your lifetime.
Yeah. Keep learning.
Keep learning, absolutely. Keep pushing, again, what is possible. Like, you have our own boundaries as to what's possible, but you have to take a chance. You have to really be responsible to yourself for your career and your quality of life. And that sounds quite philosophical, but genuinely, you get one chance. So how do you make the most of it? And how do we teach our students to actually just hold tight when everything feels a bit wobbly that's there? Because that's the process of change. This is a place you need to be in, and you trust it. You learn to trust that design process and that design ability that you've been trained to do. And it's not just for the design world or the professional world, it is for one's life.
Well, they do, definitely. It shows whatever they create.
There has to be a confidence, not an ego, but just a quiet confidence in actually just who you are. Because again, that you have to own your creative voice. If you try to mimic someone else's, then innovation and creativity is gone. You don't own it. You're always then a step behind.
We can take so many quotes or statements from your conversation where you just said you need to find your own voice.
You do have to find your own voice, and no one teaches you that. It's there. It's a bit like leadership, isn't it? Is that you can learn from a book, but you've got to physically feel what a risk feels like. So you can actually measure what's there, and actually if you're taking small incremental risks, how long it's going to take you to get someplace. If something is fundamentally flawed and you can sense that, you can't then take incremental changes. You've got to have the wit and the wherewithal to let it all go, and to know that actually it wasn't for nothing, that you've accumulated the learning and knowledge and the insight that's now needed.
And all of this, there is design thinking.
It is designers thinking. It is. I think ultimately it's you can package design thinking as a product that's there, but it's the designer's mindset and their skills of three-dimensional thinking, of visual thinking, of really tapping into that imagination and actually just understanding how to work with intuition. But that's a maturity of thought that happens over a lifetime.
That's deep. I love it. It's design is more than. It's also so much philosophical stuff.
It is, but I think that's also about the premise of education, isn't it? Like, why should you invest in coming to a university? What is the difference that comes in? Well, I think that is the difference that's there, that there's an absolute commitment on a daily basis, not just by myself, but the whole team, which I'm going to bring us back to the quotes downstairs. We have to be together. We have to understand actually where our shared values, what we understand design to be, because if it's not there, we can't deliver the quality of education and a lifetime of learning that we believe we need to give.
Yeah, and we have only one chance.
One chance.
So we saw this degree show. Do you guys have KPIs for yourself? What is a successful degree show?
The question we asked ourselves with design degree shows having such a long tradition, how do we innovate responsibly for today's world. And so that's why it is a bit not only a digital exhibition, but we're actually looking at how we can connect with some of the other aspects of being pioneering in Heriot-Watt. So how do we use the energy on the roof to power? How do we build on that? How do we understand just how much energy we're using? So we can begin to ask different questions and perhaps design next year's degree show based on the insights that we've got now.
And bring it together, all the students as well in this learning.
Yeah.
Okay. $1 million question. How does the design industry change with now AI?
It's another technology. I think it's another skill set, and it's a mindset that comes in there. It's another language. Like many languages, you need to take time to get to learn and then to use it. It's within education and teaching. It's about the critical thinking. It's not just enough to technically understand a technology. You have to have a vision and then to begin to physically build that in layers. So what questions are you going to ask AI to help you build the layers that will sit on top of one another to create the vision that you see in your head and actually then work with others to make real?
Recently, as a university or school started to pay more attention in this AI field?
Well, we use Adobe Suite that comes in, and so I think that's a natural part of what the industry is presenting professional design with in terms of development. But big conversation. It's not, I mean, there's definitely the ethics side of it. What does quality look like? What is the relationship between the traditional tools with these new and emerging ones?
They need to be open.
You need to be, yeah, and there will always be different tools, and I think AI is one of those times where you have to pivot to use this new technology to enhance and develop in support of having a higher quality of life and living.
Okay, and the students are equipped once they leave to the wide market with this knowledge skill?
Well, I love that actually, the students are equipped. Well, I think that comes back to how playful are they in their mind, how open are they with their thinking, and how critical are they engaging with what's in front of them. And I think that sort of that little dance that those three things do together is what's really important, because being a designer is really as important as actually technically having the astuteness and capability to hone one type of technology, be that AI or another.
Yeah, it's not about the tool itself. It's about how you're gonna manage yourself to be free, to be creative. Is this what university or school is about?
I think the analogy that's coming to my mind is that of an elite sports person. The example of Andy Murray as the British tennis champion. Can't just play tennis all the time to hone your craft. You have to actually look at all the different movements that you're going to ask your body to do in the midst of a highly competitive match that comes in. And I don't think that's any different from designer, that you have to practice in lots of different ways. You have to strengthen skills and capabilities then. And I think that's how I hope we teach our students to take a step back to say, where am I with my ability? I've invested so much in understanding, say, the AI technology that I've forgotten about just the physicality of model building, or to understand, is there still a need, or has a solution been created within commerce that makes my idea redundant?
Okay, so we spoke about technology, AI, obviously the mindset of a student, of a design thinker. Is there any channel that you guys get exposure from the businesses, from the industry, for business groups, what they actually need or what they want students to work on?
That's a huge part of delivering design education here at Heriot-Watt on a daily basis. So we work with over 50 companies, be that with a live project brief that's been set by an industry, field trips to see what a studio looks like, to hear from designers, and be that within healthcare, be that within banking, be that within the tradition of interior architecture. That engagement is really important to actually see what design looks like and what being a designer looks like in the professional world. So yes, we also have an industry advisory board that is very active.
Is there any real life example, for example, of collaboration, students with a brand, with a business?
There's one project called Prototypes for Humanities, and they will set a theme as to some of the challenges that the world is facing right now. And so the students will engage with that project brief and with them as an organisation to look at some innovation solutions for that project. Then you have, I suppose, internships, with companies like Gensler. I think the other one that we'd like to do more with is government. So I think that design management is something that's important for service innovation and service design, and we know that that's a big part of governmental organisations and institutions that's there. So I think that would be one area we would like to develop and maybe have more conversations, and not just the tradition of the architect or the interior designer. We want to really step out to say, okay, within healthcare and within hospitals, how might they come into the design space, and so we can support them with the business of healthcare.
Okay, yeah, so there is still challenge to connect that.
Yeah, but I think it's about communication. We need to be presenting what design is, what the process is, and what the possibility is, and that our doors are open. Come and chat to us about what we can do, because it may be that design and designers are not the people you think about that can help you with the business problem that you have. I don't think they understand design as strategy or as a tool for business transformation. It's comfortable to understand design as a product. That comes in, very familiar, instantly recognisable. But when you come into the business space, if you are managing a team and you actually have to innovate or you're going to lose market share, how do you do that? You use what's in front of you. But if you step back, then think, actually, who innovates on a daily basis? Well, designers need to do that. Perhaps the designer can come in to do a 360-degree review of where the team or the business or the service is at, and actually just be a mirror. This is what we see, this is what the potential, here's the strengths, here's the opportunities, and here's a process we can take you through called design thinking that will allow you to elevate in this space.
There is actually a services, like corporate services, when they run design thinking workshops?
They do. I think design thinking is a phrase that is met with intrigue, but also disdain in the same measure, if I'm honest. I think it's been a really important part of elevating design as strategy rather than design as product over the last 20 years. And you see the Luma Institute, for example, Capgemini with Frog and with IDEO and with Hassel-Plattner, they all have design thinking as a core tenet of one of the services that they offer to help people innovate within any business environment.
In short, what is design thinking itself?
It's many things, but I think in terms of, for me, it is a strategy for increasing the level of innovation in your business. And so you have to understand the range of products and services that are within your business and what that portfolio is, and actually where they're performing, where they're not performing, and actually just how the markets are changing and how you need to adjust and pivot what your offering is as a business in responsiveness to that. It's demanding in terms of if it's creativity. The pace is really important. I think you can look at what you need from design thinking as a process. If you need it to be delivered in a week, then you can combine it with, say, some agile methods like the sprint, and then bring a lot of people together to collaborate, to rethink it. And that, I think, is a really interesting way to innovate and not just use design thinking on its own.
I guess you dedicate an entire life to this topic. How do you live with that, like apart, let's say, for the school activities? Do you apply in daily life, in, I don't know, your future planning from the personal point of view?
What a great question. I don't think I've ever stopped to think about it, if I'm honest. I think it is naturally what I do and what I see in the job that comes in.
What does it mean to you itself?
What does it mean to me? It means that I can evaluate a situation, understand how to change it and how to bring people along with me, and so that the change is sustainable and it has an impact that's meaningful, not just for myself, but for people that I've never met that's there. So even if I look at editor-in-chief of the Design Journal, I would say that the journal's grown 700% in the last 7 years, which is a ferocious growth that comes in. So I can use design thinking as a strategy for the business development of this.
Can you compare, for example, UAE or Dubai with other regions in terms of understanding the design thinking, or brands applying design thinking to their businesses?
What I can say that's really unique is that the diversity of populations. Let me give you an example. Here on the campus, the school is just 311 students. But there are 47 nationalities within that population. So you have to live and breathe inclusivity on a daily basis. How you engage with the nuance and the behaviours and the the sound of different cultures is real. You have to adjust and adapt. The intensity of working within a group, or small or large, where you've got that volume of different nationalities, is actually something we've yet to fully understand, if I'm honest, but that would be one of the biggest competitive advantages that I think would come out of actually being trained design thinking in the Dubai and MENA region.
Is it new? Is it getting more and more attention in the region?
That's an integral part of how you develop a product or service. So no longer is that be kept aside. It's fundamental, it's part of that, the beating heart of the product or service innovation that's coming. And that does come from a very deep sense of how to be empathetic, so that people are using design today that will be sustained and not just pick it up 5 minutes later, they've put it down because they didn't have that personal connection to it.
Generate actual value as well.
Yeah.
If you could explain, for example, for two categories, wannabe students, like why they should choose this career path in a simple way.
Would you like to improve the quality of life of those around you? If it's yes, come join us. This is what we do.
Yeah, what design could do.
I think ultimately that's its gift, when used well and responsibly, is actually just to really improve the quality of life and living.
That's very powerful.
I think it's the responsibility that's there. I think it's not design for design's sake, is it? We're not just creating products because we know that's not what's needed. It really has to have a responsibility behind it that's there. But you are driven to make change happen in an impactful way, and as long as you understand where you want to make that impact, why you're doing it, and why it's needed, then ultimately it's helpful. Why should they come to do design? It's about understanding design today. But that's a really good question. I think that I'll take that back with me to have more thought with.
It's a good thing. And if we would talk about employee market, the businesses itself, how they should look at it, what kind of questions they should raise to themselves.
They still need our students to understand the business element. So again, your ideas can be as great, but you have to be able to embed yourself within the culture and the community and the demands of that business that's there. I think the basics, as an employee, you have to be able to follow instruction that comes in. You have to be able to meet the deadline. You have to actually be able to change direction and meet the client's needs when they're needed. So that's still qualities that our students have to be able to deliver on, and they have to understand that that's a priority, because when you're learning to use the imagination, you're so intent and focused on actually understanding the imagination, but you have to trust yourself that when you leave university with that degree, that it's there already, and actually you have to then fold that into the project management, the time management, the financial planning elements, and actually just the market crashes that are coming.
Yeah, maybe we can quickly talk about the courses itself in the university.
2 postgraduate programs, Master of Arts in Interior Architecture and Design, and then there's an MSc in Design Management that's there. And at the undergraduate there is Communication Design, Fashion Branding Promotion and Interior Architecture and Design that's there.
Architecture is separate?
In architecture separate, yeah. Yes, that's in a different school.
Okay. Do you feel that, more maybe founders or entrepreneurs showing interest in this type of courses?
In the postgraduate side of things?
Yeah.
A large part of our postgraduate community are working full-time. We teach undergraduate during the day, postgraduate in the evening, from really 6 until 10. Isn't that amazing that despite having a full-time job, you're committed to either changing your career by having a postgraduate qualification, pivoting in your career because you think you need to take, or having the next level up in terms of management that comes in. And I think those are the key reasons why people come to do a postgraduate study with us.
What kind of people usually choose these courses postgraduate?
I think it's you want to go to the next step in your career. if it's within one organisation. So you're looking to invest in actually just understanding management better than what you do already. So you can say, with this qualification, you've invested and you've taken things forward, and you can use some of the projects that are in your workplace to bring them in and to become the focus of the design brief that's there.
And what percentage, for example, is it a company sending the...
Tends to be individual people coming, it's their personal investment in their careers that are going forward. They recognise that actually the qualifications are a route to career development.
Okay, so they recognise and choosing and invest that time.
They do, and I think the reason they choose Heriot-Watt is because of actually that dynamic connection we have with industry. I mean, it's not, it really is live and it's real. The engagement with industry, even though they're with industry themselves, there's still that connection to have live projects and to work on big challenges.
So design back in the days was understood as a, I don't know, maybe logo, maybe banner, and now we're in a different era. So how did it change, and how do you see in the future how it will change?
Well, that's an almighty question, isn't it? 20th century was all about still the industrial revolution, wasn't it? And it was still focused on products. So we look at fashion design, we look at product design, it was individual. As we moved into the 21st century, you then had digital that comes in, so the type of products changed. And I think the phone that is a brilliant example, because all of a sudden we became our own bank managers, because no longer did you call someone, you were actually able to actually manage your own finances. Now, whether you would gift everyone to be their own bank manager, who knew that would become something that people would want? You know, it's there, they have so much control, they can look at that and they can look at all the detail and make decisions that comes in, and it's with them 24/7. That's a shift in how we engage with the world and the expectations that come. And again, that interconnection between the notion of a product design. So we still call it a phone, but how many of us use it to call people? I think it's just, that's familiar. We like that word phone because it's got a heritage that comes in, but it's so much more than that. It's at least 10 different products in one thing, isn't it? We saw some of them upstairs where they really are looking at just the interactivity and the engagement, whether that's to improve how you experience going shopping that comes in, isn't it? An app can help you if you are time poor when it comes to shopping, but you love the idea of shopping and to be physically in the space, but get a bit irritated at the fact that either you need help, there's no assistant around.
Or irritated when somebody stands behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but now that idea that you would just carry that personal assistant with you, you've got product and service that are coming together. So the shift, I would say, is the complexity within what I see as product or service innovation. So less about the design, but really understanding the innovation ecosystem that's embedded within it.
It's like linking together now. Design is actually linking and technology.
Well, look at how global the world has become. It's like 30 years ago. There wasn't that capacity, but now it seems normal to look at things through the lens of internationalization, to understand the global nature of what it is that we're doing and thinking as a designer, or the business of design that's there.
To finalize, what would you wish one thing that students, people, brands would understand design? I like you quoted that if you want to change people's life, you should study design.
But if you're in business, what you're looking to do is to make sure that you are sustainable and you've got an impact. I think designers can help make change happen. They really understand the process of transformation. We have a creative way, creative process and principles and tools to guide teams so that the whole community is going with you through that change. So it's one that is lasting. And I think that would be the biggest way to shift understanding the power and importance of design today.
You should be brave and you have one chance.
Yeah.
Rapid fire questions, exactly. Design tool you can't live without?
My eyes.
What's your creative superpower?
Mischief.
One book every designer should read?
Oh, not one book. Thousands of books. Must continue reading. Never stop reading.
Okay.
And the physical books, please.
Sticky notes or whiteboard?
Both.
Design trend you dislike?
AI.
Why?
think it's been positioned as this super duper lifesaver. You have to practice the art and the craft of learning the technology to apply it responsibly.
Great answer. If you were not in design industry, what would you be doing?
I think an explorer.
What would you explore?
The world. It's good to get lost. It's good to get lost, yeah.
There's also kind of designer's requirement, a skill. You need to get lost.
Yeah, you could take that two ways, can't you? But yes, you do. You have to. That's such an important point, isn't it? You have to be okay, and that's fear. Fear is your friend.
Good, I love it. Getting back, be brave, one chance.
Yeah.
Explore.
Yeah.
Most inspiring space you are worked at. What kind of space inspiring you?
Oh no, it's not a space. It's climbing mountains. So back in Scotland we have the Cairngorm mountain range. So this space is always in my mind. I'm the space.
Favorite UAE design spot?
No, I don't think it's a favourite design spot. I think it's the energy and the mindset of the region itself, and I think it's the vision that it set itself that is my favourite design spot. Mm-hmm.
Basically, country's vision.
Country's vision, its commitment to its people. Absolutely.
One word, what does it good design feel like?
A cuddle.
Any favorite designer or creative influencer you would love to have a dinner with?
I think Saul Worman. I think that he established the TED Talks. He was an architect that's there, but now really known for what he talks about.
What inspires you outside of a work?
Family. Yeah, absolutely family. Because you have no work title or anything, they just strip you bare, don't they?
Good to come back to family.
Always, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, allowing to learn from me and obviously, hopefully for the wider audience.
Yeah, thank you very much, Evan. It's been an absolute pleasure, actually. Difficult at times, there's no denying it that comes in. I think it's not often you have to sit and think about these things because you have to get on with it on a daily basis, but yeah, it's been a real pleasure.
It's not easy, but we're enjoying the process.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
If you thought that design is only the branding, the colors and the logo, think again. That was a great conversation with Professor Louise and opening the mind that design thinking improves not only the physical product, but actual business models, the mindsets, and the future for possibilities. So if you enjoyed, you know the flow, please share with somebody who could benefit. And as you know, we're gonna meet in the next episode. Keep learning.